YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Joseph coming at y'all with another YouTube read, another energy collective read. I hope this finds you guys at a resonating time of your day. Remember to take a resonates and please leave the rest behind. Off the jump, I got a message for you guys. For whoever this is resonant for, take a resonates and please leave the rest behind. But a lot of you guys, whoever this message is meant for, you have enemies that are perishing one by one, so that's a multitude number. Let's go and get started. For everybody, it won't be multitudes, multiple sets. For some people, it will be. For some people, that number will differentiate and things like that. But you'll understand if this message is aligned for you. You'll understand it's self-explanatory. Let's go ahead and get started. Ancestors, angels of the highest white light, please bestow upon me clear and concise channel messages for what my collective needs to hear today. Thank you, and Ashe. In accommodation with this message. So off the top, I've got a message. Judgment is the first card we're going to take. So there's something about, that wasn't the whole message. So let's go back to the general message. Not only are your enemies perishing one by one, so there's some type of destructive backfire, downfall, something that is happening in motion, whether it's right now or it's happening spiritually, which is just around the corner physically, so to speak. So a lot of you guys are going through a lot, or have been going through a lot of different things, or a lot of different phases of attack or warfare from people or a person that feel like they had control or domination or domineering control to do certain things to you by agenda or on their own agenda or vendetta or emotional standpoint with you, or maybe with other people. Maybe it's with men, maybe it's with women, maybe it's with kids, maybe it's with rich people, maybe it's with energetically abundant people. There's certain things like that. If you're understanding what I'm saying, a lot of you guys come from different situations, different energetic dynamics and things like that. So it would be, I could talk all day about the different correspondences to the different ways and whys and hows and origins. But the message today is for, a destructive downfall that is set in place for certain things like this. So a lot of you guys go through energetic trafficking systems, and if you don't really correspond it to such, it's a organized system in which multitude of people or one person is corresponding a certain level of witchcraft or certain things to attach to your soul or to extract from your soul on a spiritual level. These are things that a lot of you guys go through on a bigger level. A lot of you guys go through these things, have been going through these things since as early as being a child, since you were born. A lot of you guys have dealt with it since meeting that certain friend, or since you stepped into that certain environment, that certain atmosphere, things like that. But a lot of you guys, what happens is, so let's go back to the general message that I still didn't complete. Your enemies are perishing one by one, but also I was going to go into the signification and the understanding and the realization and the realistic outcomes of a failed sacrifice or failed attempts like this. A lot of you guys go through fraud. A lot of you guys have gone through your own people under your nose taken from you, things like that. A lot of you guys have gone through shutting up spells, and that's a spell, that's a generalization for doing things, fear-mongering attempts, psychologically, physically, vocally, sexually, things like that to keep you in a certain mold, right? A lot of you guys have gone through a lot of different exchanges of abuse, molestation, things like that on a spiritual accord to extract something or to keep you in a certain place. So either gatekeeper energy, warlock energy, or like a witchery energy that's just extracting from you. Either way, you already know what this is. A lot of you guys, if this message is for you, that's why I'm going into the illuminating the basis of what got us here, right? So with pity parties, and notice how I said the last thing, what got us here. So a lot of people, or a lot of these people, a lot of you guys have a corresponding one person or a few or a multitude of people. I know some of you guys be in my comments talking about all type of shit. And it's like crazy to see different stories and things like that, how they all correspond, same similarities on an alignment level or aligned level. But saying that to say, a lot of you guys have dealt with this, the narcissistic patterns, and those that, do these things energetically to you or do these things in terms of energy. The correspondence to accountability, it's not there. A lot of you guys know that a lot of people don't like taking accountability. So what happens is a lot of times people run away through the continuance of these actions, or they run away through acting like it never happened. So what this really leads to, right, is a very big backfire or a very big blow up, a very big surfacing. usually in the life that is unbeknownst to my viewer or people like us, right? In that circumstance, it's usually unbeknownst to the person, right? But it could be in that other person's life or the other people's lives that had the agendas, and it can be a certain blow up that happens. It could be a certain event that happens that signifies to somebody that, hey, they either know what that corresponds to or why we got here or how they got here, doesn't want to face it. But when that event, that action, that surfacing, or the downfall or backfire of karma, so to speak, when it comes into play, it's something that people can't deny, right? So a lot of you guys have dealt with situations where people try to shut you up or gaslight you with certain informations or experiences that they know they either put you through, put onto you, or let happen. A lot of times it's like an ignorance thing, playing ignorant, playing the fool, right? You know, a lot of you guys have, gone through experiences being sold out. A lot of you guys have gone through experiences where people let things happen to you under their nose when they could have been watching over you or watching you or been there of assistance, a friend, an associate. So what happens is a lot of you guys go through circumstances where you get, this kind of isolation, kind of like you've been isolated from a group of people that kind of felt like they had to, or you felt like you were outcasted from a group of people because they felt like they had to, right? And so a lot of times these attempts and these things that come from a place of like sheer manipulation and control, there's only usually one way for you to break out of it. It's setting yourself free. So a lot of you guys have gone through a lot of circumstances maybe that were unlucky, maybe unfavorable, maybe were a little less secure to you at that time because you had to take that brunt of a sacrifice, right, to make a better step, right? To take a different step in a different direction that wouldn't have confounded you, right? And so a lot of you guys understanding what I'm saying with a lot of these types of dynamics and how they backfire is usually horrendously, right? And that's what we're about to get into. They see it wasn't a joke now as I say it. So let's go ahead and pull from another deck. So a lot of people are coming to that realization. So bring it back to the accountability point. A lot of people are coming to that realization through maybe the karma that they're receiving in exchange for their behavior, their actions that they were willing to continue to do. And so a lot of times, a lot of people, try to keep these kind of control schemes or a group of people to continue the same behavior through fear, through scarcity, through lack. And so a lot of blackmail is at play at this time. So on an energetic corresponding level, I'm just reading energy, but a lot of you guys can take these themes and take them and resonate with however they resonate with you, right? With the Page of Cups energy, and remember to drop what does not resonate with you. With the Page of Cups energy, there's something, you see how this woman, it's like a bunny, dressing up as a bunny in a costume, is holding up a filled cup, right? With the Page of Cups energy, there's something about, these people, the same people, depending on what this, the Ace of Wands, see the same people that were strategizing on how to cause you some type of backfire, some type of weight, or some type of burden in a continued way. Maybe these are people that caused you, or a person that has caused you turbulence, or has caused you strife, or has caused you weight in your life. These are people, or a multitude of people. This is multitude of people, right? That was the message, the corresponding message. These are people that got together and put their cups together, so to speak. And the Ace of Wands representing some type of strategization to cause some type of downfall to you, whoever I'm talking to or tapping into, or some type of strife in your life, some type of humiliation, some type of whatever, right? It's kind of what I'm getting from the message. But the Six of Swords, there's some type of transformation that maybe you guys have gone through. Maybe a lot of you guys have been detoured from a certain path, certain circumstance, or maybe this is recent for a lot of you guys, who knows. But in regards to the situation, the Six of Swords represents a transition in the midst of this one. I'm about to pull another card, the one that's hanging, celebrity status. So there's some type of transformation that is happening at this time. A lot of you guys are being, built through these systems, or you've been structured and modulated, modified, refined through these systems, through attacks, through warfare, to be ready for some big picture kind of event, some big picture kind of position, whether that's a spiritual position, whether that's an emotional position, being a father, a mother to somebody, right? Whether that's a public position, whether that's a social position like the one I have right now. It could be anything, a healing position. A lot of you guys are going through these types of warfares, these refinements, so to speak. You can look at it as that, affirm that, instead of going through and connotating it a little more harshly, it'll make it more harsh, right? These are refinement points in regards to where it's going to take us to the destination. It's leading us there. It's holding our hand on the way there, so to speak. And it's not so sweet as holding your hand, right? But it's building you so you're ready for what you walk into by the time you get there. And that's my last message. I'm gonna end off on some last points of like specifications. A lot of you guys kind of have been going through certain things. So I'm channeling messages for, you know, my collective in terms of, you know, people coming back around to your life in regards to understanding your boundaries and your maturity that you've learned through certain things, either without or through experiences with those groups of individuals, environments, situations, places, relationships. It's something about understanding what you've learned and what you've equipped yourself with. And it's understanding whether or not you can trust your discernment in the midst of somebody from your past coming back up, or in a theme of that I'm getting is like a forgiveness, people seeking forgiveness. There's something about understanding where you can forgive for the betterment of yourself and for the betterment of maybe somebody else, but maybe it's not about that, but it's definitely for yourself and for you to move forward. Not a lot of times it's for forgiveness and reconciliation. A lot of it can be. It depends on the shift. But that's a message that I'm being channeled to go into, especially y'all are going to be dealing with people, especially if you're resonating with this message, that come around for forgiveness or some type of reconciliation through those means because of things like that. So that's kind of what I'm getting to kind of isolate that out. I'm kind of getting a theme that there's something about dark, like energy, like watching for energy transfers and interactions with people that you know still don't have good intentions for you, because energy transfers are very real. So I'm getting that kind of last message. Besides that, I think that we're going to end it off right there. But you got a lot of people that you've come up against. I think I'm going into that. I'm not done. But a lot of you guys have trampled over a lot of your enemies on a spiritual level in a wise way, or in a balanced way, in an elegant way. So what I'm saying is you didn't fight fire with fire in some way, shape, or form, or you had to learn that you couldn't fight fire with fire, and you had to kind of be the water and flow with the situation and to take lead, right? Water will always beat fire. Remember that. Water will always beat fire. Fire can flow. Not fire. Water can flow. Fire has an untamable flame. It'll always kind of be uncontrolled in a certain way. It won't be in a refined, the flames won't go up to the same levels, go down to the same levels. It's uncontrolled. So that's kind of the difference. When you're fighting fire with fire, or you're fighting fire with water, it's something that it nullifies it. A lot of you guys have nullified certain things, or healed through certain attacks, or healed through certain things, or overcame certain things that ended up corresponding to certain backfires such as this. And with these backfires, I'm not being guided to go into that. It's such a differentiation amidst all the different energies and how different situations can backfire in certain ways. But a lot of times people come around back to your life for that very reason. So it's something that I'm being cautioned to caution you guys. And I think that's the last one. If you need a personal with me, hit up Shamika-san with a C in Shamika at gmail.com. I've got a couple of partnerships, Otter Spirit and Rose Forever New York. Let me know if that link works over any of those two. I've got a message about that a couple of days ago. But either way it goes, I'm about to get started on my next one. But it's your boy Justice. I'm sending my love and ashe. I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. But peace out, y'all.